What's up, YouTube? I've had a few requests now to go over my Pixie build in a bit more detail, so I'm going to jump into this video now. I'm going to take you through my skill choices and the gear choices that I've gone with. Some of the gear choices are I haven't quite got god rolls yet, so still going for them. So this video is a lot of speaking, so if that's not your thing, just feel free to click away. Remember to sub if you find yourself coming back, you want to see more content. Drop a like on the video if you find this build useful, and leave a comment if you have any tweaks you would make for the build, whatever. And let's get right into it. So we're going to start with the skills. I've unlocked Spore Warden with my Graveborn for this build. What I've decided to do, something a little bit different, is I'm going to take you through unlocking the skills rather than just showing you the skills I've got. Sometimes you have to put points into skills you wouldn't normally do, so just to save the comments asking why that skill's been used, I'll take you through unlocking. So we'll start with the Graveborn. The aim is we want to get down to Lord of Edges down the bottom here, so that's what we're going to aim for. So to start off, we're going to put 3 points into Faithful Thralls, so that will give us extra damage for every companion that is active. So we'll just go ahead and throw 3 points into that. To unlock this next tree, we're going to put 2 points into Mortal Vessel, just because it's better than Essence Drain for this build. We're not too worried about spell cooldown rate at this point. So drop 2 into there for now, just so we can have a look at the next line. The next one we're going to go for is we're going to increase our dark magic damage. This is going to help with the damage that the Pixies are doing. So just slam 5 points straight into there, just to buff that out. Next thing we want to look at, Dark Hydra. So every time we get a kill, we're going to summon a Dark Hydra, which is going to give us another 3 companions max, which is great. You can get this perk on armor, which is what I have on one set but not the other, but we'll see that in a minute. So chuck 3 points in. Dead Covenant, another really good skill. So a portion of the damage we take is going to be redirected to our Demi-Lich companion. So chuck a point in there. Not too worried about bonus damage on spells, so we'll ignore that. So just to unlock this next line, just chuck another point back into Mortal Vessel. These 2 skills, so we've got Punishment and we've got Ascension. I don't really like them for this build, so what I would recommend here, which is, you could go either way, it depends. This is a little bit personal preference, but I'll chuck another 2 points back here into Dark Magic Efficiency. And then I would also just pick something here that suits you. I tend to go with Sanguine Sacrament, so when I pop my Buffmeister, I'll start regenerating a little bit of health. We just points into that until we unlock Lord of Edges. And then we're done with the Demi-Lich, with the Graveborn side. Not too fussy here with the capstone skills. I'm going to leave both of them out for this because it doesn't really help us too much. So onto the Spore Warden side, it's quite self-explanatory over here. We're going to max out gun damage. You'll see why we're doing that when we move over to the gear. We're going to max out companion health and damage, so another 5 points straight into there. I really like this skill just because it looks funny, so just chuck a point into there. It's the Spore Cloud. I really like Medicinal Mushroom. It just saved me in a clutch a few times. If you randomly go down, your mushroom can come over and it can revive you, so we want to throw some points into that. We're aiming now to get down to Wrath of Nature. That's what we really want, so we just need to throw some points in now to unlock that. I like to go for 5 points in Bullseye, so it gives us companion critical hit chance and gun critical hit chance, which is both huge. So we're going to dump 5 points in there, and then we need another 3 points to get down here. For this build, Quiver of Holding magazine size isn't going to help us at all. It's actually going to hinder us. It's going to burn through our ammo faster. So I tend just to throw it into ability damage. This is a bit personal preference. You could have a look through the different skills, but I tend to either go for ability damage or Thrill of the Hunt. So gun critical hits grant increased companion damage. I tend to go for affinity here, so we're going to chuck 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to dump our last 3 skill points now into Wrath of Nature. This is the big one. So whenever we deal ability damage to an enemy, it takes additional damage from all sources. So if we stick 3 points in that, it's another 30% damage increase for 12 seconds whenever we deal ability damage. With this build, I like to run Blizzard. This is because of one of the enchantments that I've got on my gear and how the enchantments work. This is what I like to put on, so we're going to run Blizzard. Quick look at the hero stats. So I've maxed out strength for critical damage. I've maxed out dex for critical chance. And then I like to run wisdom for the status damage. I don't normally run this build anymore. I've switched over to another one where I max this out, which is why I've got the archetype on to run that one. But this is what I do. So you can have a play with this a little bit, see what suits you more. Completely up to you. Onto the gear. So the gun, which is the cornerstone of this entire build, is we're using a whatnot. So if you don't know about the guns, the Fear Not scales with magic damage and the whatnot scales with gun damage. So we've stacked gun damage a lot. We're going to run the whatnot on here. We've got on action skill start, increases our damage dealt by 20% for 20 seconds, which is great. So as soon as we pop that tornado, we'll get another 20% damage buff. Melee weapon, I've just chucked anything on here, but I did manage to get, while action skill is active, increases companion damage by 50%, which is why we've gone for the tornado, because that's got quite a long run timer. So while that tornado is active, we're getting another 50% companion damage, which is just crazy for the pixies, to be honest. So it's great. If you can re-roll for that enchantment, go for it. Got a few different guns here just to run separately, but the main one is we're using this lightning damage whatnot of the wizard. Onto the ring. This isn't god roll at all, unfortunately. We've only got a chaotic one, but we have got a fealty oath. So with our this particular gun, this particular brand, I'm not even going to try and say that word because I'll embarrass myself. We're getting an extra 33% damage, and we get on switching weapons. This ring's effectiveness is increased by 50%. We've got a Shark's Bane on the second ring for an extra 45% gun damage, and every time we land a crit, it boosts the ring by 33%. And we've got an extra bit of action skill duration on this ring, which is great. For the wards, we're running a Master Rune. So for this, we've got on spellcast, increased damage dealt by 15%, which is nice. And the rune increases our companion damage by another 25%, which is just great. That will transfer to your teammates as well if you're running multiples of this, which is good. The chest piece, I took this off just while I was showing you the skill, so you didn't see the extra bits. But I've got two chest pieces I tend to float between. I've got this Ascended Turquoise Claw. So that's got some nice perks on it that I like, but it does convert all my companion damage to frost damage, which can be good, can be bad, depends. If you've got a better necklace than I've got, this kind of chest piece is ideal. I've been toying around with this Cape of Tides just because it's a really fun chest piece to put on. So I have been using this with the lightning damage that comes from the companions. We'll throw that on for now. Slip and stun, just because I like the added mobility. It's really good for getting out of situations sometimes and just for getting around a little bit faster. It's got lightning damage on it and Graveborn power, which is really useful for us. And then we're running on the spell slot, Buffmeister. Got this nice Ascended one, which is just great. So throw that on. We've got on action skill start here, increased gun damage by 40%, which clashes with our pistol, which is unfortunate, but I do use this Buffmeister for a few other builds, so I don't really want to mess around re-rolling that. So I'm re-rolling this, trying to get a better perk on it, but we'll see what we can get to. And that's it for the build, guys. I hope you find this useful. When we look at this, these whatnot and the Fear Not is incredibly strong, even if you haven't got the sort of gear that I've managed to get hold of. It did take me a while to get it, but it is really strong. So if you can just get hold of one, it's going to be a bit of a game changer for those late chaos levels. So thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed the video, please remember to drop a like and drop a sub on the channel. Really close to 1,000 now, which is great. And I'll see you in the next one.